Hey everybody, Catherine here. If you're new to my channel, I quit my job 3 months ago and started living on the road full time. I am living in a truck camper, a landslide truck camper, and I also make adventure-related hiking and backpacking videos. Today's video is not a very fun topic, but I wanted to keep it real for you guys. You know, I've been showing you all these amazing, beautiful locations I've been going to, and just the wonderful part about living life on the road full time. However, today I have to share with you a not so great part of it. Somewhere along the line, I have picked up some furry friends. And yes, I said plural friends. However, to be honest with you, they're not my friends. This has probably been the most stressful situation I've had to deal with since being on the road full time. It has cost me time, money, and sleep. I first noticed their presence 10 days ago, actually. I was camping at a free camp spot. It was a turnout overlooking a bay here in Washington. Beautiful spot, peaceful. I parked my rig right under a couple of trees. As soon as it got dark, a little after 10 p.m., I started hearing all kinds of noises on top of the camper. It sounded like it was on top of the camper. I started to just pound on the ceiling, and it sounded like whatever it was kind of scurried and ran off. And I thought potentially that I had scared off whatever it was. Now, I don't know if these critters jumped off the trees or what happened there, and I don't even actually know for certain if that's where I picked them up. It could just be the first time that I noticed. However, this is a spot where a lot of people pull off on the side of the road and they sit and have lunch. So there's a lot of food being eaten there. So I think the potential that it could have been there is pretty good. Next day, I decided to move locations and went straight to Walmart to pick up some mouse traps. I picked up the Tomcat brand, the snap trap, and I went on to my next location and I went ahead and set the traps that evening. Next morning, nothing in the traps. Actually, I think I left them out 2 nights, nothing in the traps. So I figured whatever that was, I scared it off. Boy, was I wrong. I didn't notice anything for a couple of days until I did see some mouse droppings. I found one on the kitchen counter and there were a couple under the sink. So let me tell you guys, this is just disgusting. It really is disgusting. I've moved locations a couple of times and these things have moved right along with me. I went ahead and set another trap using a combination of peanut butter and some of this attractant that I saw in the local hardware store. It's this Tomcat Attractant. After setting that trap that evening, I got up onto my bed and I kind of dimmed the lights, and I was actually watching some videos on my phone, and right about 10 p.m. I just started hearing the scurrying. I started hearing the scratching in the walls, and I can't tell you guys, that makes my skin crawl. I had a pretty good idea it was going to go for that bait. When I got up the following morning and checked the traps under the sink, sure enough, there it was. And I actually had bought 2 different kinds of traps. I bought one type that's a spin trap, it says, where they go in and they get caught up inside this little box and you don't actually have to see the mouse. I was hoping that it would go for that one, but no, it went for the snap trap. So of course I had to see it and dispose of it, and it was just disgusting. I've never had to do anything like that, and I know it sounds silly to some of you, but it just freaks me out. It grossed me out. I handled it though, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be disposing of it, and I was actually in sort of a celebratory mode. So I came back in the camper, I cleaned, sanitized, opened this place up, was listening to music, and I felt like I had finally rid myself of the issue. Again, I was wrong. And guys, I am a clean freak. I keep this place spotless. I never leave a dirty dish in the sink. All my food is stored in this cupboard up here, and it's airtight. They have not gotten into the food at all. I keep my food trash not in my trash can, but in my fridge. I put it in a plastic baggie and I store it in the fridge until I can throw it away. So even if you keep your place, you know, food free, I wipe down the counters and everything like that, they may still find some reason to come in here. Maybe it's just the smell. I was sharing about this with my family, and my mom suggested that I plug any open hole with steel wool. So I went down to the hardware store. Again, like I said, this has cost me money because I've bought quite a few things to combat these rascals. Went down to the local hardware store, bought more traps, bought steel wool, and I plugged every opening I could possibly find with steel wool. And there were quite a few, so I can see how these things got in here. The compartment that houses the 30 amp cable that you plug in when you go to an RV camp had 2 big holes, you know, carved into it, where they could just cruise right in. They could just actually use the power cord as a little highway and climb up there and right into the camper. I think that's one possibility of how they got in here, maybe at an RV park. Anyhow, yeah, I went around this whole camper and plugged any hole I could find. I assumed that was the end of my problems, and you know, again, was in celebratory mode and was sitting here, right here where I'm sitting right now, working on a video, editing a video that same afternoon when I heard more scratching. It actually was coming from right down there. I was just beside myself. I was really about to lose it, guys. I went ahead and set the traps at night, and I only had the spin type trap. The following morning I woke up and the trap had not got the mouse, but there was a dropping right next to the trap. So that thing was mocking me, I tell you, it was mocking me. Went back down to the hardware store, bought some more snap traps, came back, set another snap trap that night, and sure enough, following morning, got another one. That was yesterday. I decided to climb on the roof of my camper to see if there was any way that they were getting in up there. And over the refrigerator, there's a vent. And over the vent, there's supposed to be a mesh screen. The screen was almost completely torn off. And I think that the previous owner of this rig, when they installed the solar panels, they ran the lines down to the batteries through that vent. So that very well could be a potential spot where they were coming in. So back to the hardware store. I bought this roll of mesh screen and some wire snippers. I got myself some Gorilla Tape, and I crawled up on that roof and just jerry-rigged and Mickey Moused a screen. It's not any type of professional job whatsoever, but I'm desperate and I just want to try to do whatever I can to keep these things out of here. Yesterday was a tough day on me. My morale was very low. I just felt like I was losing the battle with these things. I felt like I was at war up on the roof. It was a hot day. I was sweating. I was filthy. My hands were dirty and cut up, just dealing with this, material. And I couldn't lift the lid off of there. It's glued on, so I had to try to, tuck this wire meshing underneath there and dealing in this tight space. And the kicker of it all was that there were squirrels and chipmunks all around my camp, literally mocking me. I felt like they were laughing at me, making all kinds of chirping noises and what have you, and it was just not a good day, guys. So I got that done, came back into the camper, went ahead and set traps last night. I didn't hear anything last night. I don't see any droppings. However, I am not going to celebrate this early yet. I've been watching a lot of videos, and I've also been reading about it, and I know that they can multiply very, very quickly. And it's been a full 10 days since I noticed their presence initially. So they've been in here a while. I'm hoping that was it, but I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic at this point. There are a couple things that I read about are repellents to mice, and I read about something called Fresh Cab, and I also watched some videos on it. And then also I heard that they don't like peppermint oil. So when I leave this camp, I will be picking up those items and storing them all around the camper, and hopefully prevent them from wanting to even enter in here. And then also with all the holes blocked at this point, I hope that there's no way for them to get in here again. I'll keep you guys posted, but I gotta tell you, man, this has just not been fun. It has been very stressful. I, again, lost sleep, although I did sleep last night. I'm thankful for that. Thanks for watching this not so pleasant topic. I want to keep it real. Like I said, this is just part of living on the road full time. I would suggest, if you have a rig or if you're heading out there, make sure you check it everywhere for any type of opening that a rodent can get into, and make sure that you block that off ASAP. And any type of repellent that you can get, go ahead and store it inside your rig as well, and hopefully you won't ever have to deal with this. I don't wish this upon anyone. I'll keep you all posted, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.